Okay, folks, I just went through a whole long damn tirade and didn't even have a recorder on. Okay, so now we're gonna do this over. I don't know if I can do it as good as I did. What I just did, I wish you could have seen it. Anyway, I was talking about how the Torah, the Tanakh, all these are names from the Old Testament Bible. Is real, but it's not real. It's bullshit, but it's real. What do I mean by that? Okay, once upon a time, these Jews and everybody in that area worship this God named Yahweh, but they worship other gods too. And they had shrines set up locally where the people live, not just in Jerusalem. These people called the Assyrians invaded the northern kingdom called Israel, and lots of refugees trickled down into Judah, which is a very small backwater. The king of Judah, at the behest probably of some religious uh, uh, pundits or whatever from the north, because they were already trying to solidify the worship of one God, centralize it. When they go to the north, they convince Hezekiah to centralize the Hebrew religion and to destroy the local shrines throughout the country and filter everybody through to Jerusalem to worship, where Hezekiah's kings and chiefs, where Hezekiah's priests could determine um, how people worship. Later on, when the Jews returned from Babylonian exile, another king named Josiah kind of finished that whole process. Um, so that's what happened there, okay? But in the Old Testament, Yahweh was not the head God. There was a God called El Elyon, who was the father. Yahweh was just a son of El Elyon. He was a son of El Elyon. And just like in the Middle East, they had these myths of the old God being too old to conquer the beast Leviathan. And the young God volunteered to conquer, and Leviathan would either swallow the young God. This is the same thing in the Greek with the Titans, where I forgot Kronos was eating his children, and Zeus cut his belly open somehow and freed all the children. But anyway, the same in the Middle East. You had Babylonian, you had different gods who were swallowed by the beast, and they tore his stomach open and created the world. Well, Yahweh in the Jewish tradition mythology, the same thing was said of Yahweh. And they tried when Hezekiah and Josiah later on went back and tried to predate their writings, the Torah or whatever, to make it look like the Jews and Judah and Israel had been monotheistic, worshiping one God. They wiped a lot of these stories and things that we've never really seen out, but there are vestiges of them still in the Bible, in the Tanakh. So we know that originally Yahweh was a son of El Elyon, and he was swallowed by Leviathan, and he tore it open, thus creating the world, and thus becoming God. Okay? Now, I should have started with this first. There have been, the Big Bang Theory, right? That at one time everything burst forth and the universe was created. Well, scientists, there's a new theory out now, a new old new theory. Scientists have used quantum equations now, computations, to clean up some of the old mess as far as the theory of the Big Bang. And they're finding that instead the universe always was that it has a time that it is created and expands and that it stops. and closes in or disseminates. Okay, that to me is Leviathan swallowing the young God coming bursting back forth. That is death and rebirth. As I said originally, Yahweh was a dying and rising God. Uh, the Greek Hebrews word, when they translated the Hebrew Bible into Greek, the word Kyrios was used to say Lord. With the same word Adonai was used, the Hebrews didn't want to pronounce the name Yahweh. So they said Adonai, which meant Lord. Okay. So if you read the New Testament, like you go forward into the first century AD, and you read the Septuagint, I think it was, I don't know when it was written, but it was written in BC sometime. But if you go and they call the Hebrew God Kyrios, Lord, and they call Jesus Kyrios. So really, if you read the New Testament, it's supposed to be Yahweh put incarnated in the body. Okay. And he's supposed to again die again on the cross and rise again, Like it's a whole lot of dying and rising Savior God. Okay. So what that is like we are part of the universe. We are the universe. So when we ponder and meditate and think, these things come out of us because that's the true origin of the universe. Created itself, it expands for a while, it goes away, and then it comes back. That's why you had the Yahweh, the original Yahweh story was that he was a dying and rising God. The original Jesus story is that he's a dying and rising God. The original Romulus story was he was dying and rising. Osiris was dying and rising. And Nana, the female, was dying and rising. You dying and rising saviors all over the place. The sun dies and rises. Now, you want to talk about the universe is total creator. But you want to talk about who's the God of man. It's the sun. And the earth is the goddess. You cannot exist for 1 second without the sun. You cannot exist without the earth at all. You come out the earth. Your physical computation and everything is the earth's. Also, your physical computation, as far as your molecules and atoms and stuff, correspond with the sun. The sun created you. The earth created you. You are the sun, and the earth is your God and goddess. Yahweh. Yahweh is a creator God. He's one of the main ones who has something to do with our creation. That is just saying that he's like the planet Saturn or something, or the power of the planet Saturn. I won't get into his function right now because I don't feel like talking that long. But I'm just saying. Anyway, before 70,000 years ago, the oldest religion was in Namibia. They worshipped a cave that was shaped like a cobra from erosion. And these people and scientists have seen inside of that cave where people from that area worship raw sacrificial things and stuff like that. Made sacrifices in the cave. The snake is a symbol of death and rebirth because he shares his skin. Women were worshipped 20 and 10,000 years ago because they had ability to give birth. People die and women give birth, going back and forth. All religion, no matter what they call it, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, the Hindu beliefs, the African beliefs, it's all about death and rebirth. It's the same thing, death and rebirth, regeneration, because the universe is born, dies, and is reborn. Lives, dies, and reborn. The Big Bang is a birth. Then it dies again. Then it is reborn. It's over and over and over again. And this is what this is what the the holy men, the prophets, all throughout time have pounded, have meditated, and have written down. And other men, kings and stuff get involved, and they spin it here, spin it there, spin it everywhere. But if you take it back to its original thing, it's about death, and that's about birth, life, death, regeneration, all of it. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you. Oh, that's how the Bible, the Torah, and the Old Testament, the Tanakh, and the New Testament is real. Thank you.